Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. 5:34 a.m. Friday, July the 18th, with the big blue mug of coffee. Of course, I hope you're having a great start to your Friday, getting set for an awesome weekend as well, and I am doing that. Now, before we get to today's video, just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Derek from the Unacceptable Fringe for being part of this channel. I posted a fantastic interview with him earlier this morning, where we talked about Canadian politics, Alberta separation, censorship, touched on Mark Carney, Pierre Poilievre, Danielle Smith, and so much more. I wanted to go on, didn't have time, but check out the video. I'll put a card at the end of this video so you can click on it and watch it in its entirety. And I hope to do more videos and interviews with people who are doing independent media in Canada. Thanks again, Derek. Go to his channel and subscribe. So, I've been thinking about doing this for a while. Dumb things in Canadian politics. And of course, you can get pretty deep into this, and this video could go on for 2 hours because there's a lot of dumb stuff happening. But I'm going to limit it to 3 with maybe an honorable mention on occasion. Hopefully I can do this on a weekly basis. So immigration has been a big issue here in Canada. We bring too many people into the country. The supply and demand thing becomes an issue. Low supply of houses, high demand, it drives up prices. So there's been talk of cutting immigration. The Carney government is not going to do that. Pierre Poilievre was the one who made this an issue during the election campaign. He's actually changed his tune on immigration lately. And he's talking about immigration almost like he's talking about negative immigration.
We need to ensure that more leave than come in over the next couple of years while we catch up. Well, housing, healthcare, and jobs can catch up.
So at a time when Poilievre is calling for negative immigration and Canadians are saying we need to let fewer people into the country on a yearly basis, illegal and legal, what's the Carney government doing? They're going to let more people in. Thousands of Canadians to start receiving invitations to apply to sponsor parents and grandparents from CTV News just published yesterday. Thousands of Canadians will soon receive invitations to apply to sponsor their parents and grandparents as permanent residents. The 2025 intake will open for a few weeks starting July 28th for 17,860 potential sponsors who submitted an interest to sponsor form in 2020, according to Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, in a notice published online Wednesday. IRCC said its goal is to accept up to 10,000 complete applications under the federal Parents and Grandparents program. So I'm assuming if they have 10,000 complete applications, it doesn't just mean 10,000 people are coming here. They could be applying for more people in their own family to come here. It could be 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000 more people coming to the country at a time when we're calling for less immigration. That's number 3. Let's move along to dumb thing number 2. Number 2 on the list of dumb things here in Canada has to deal with safe injection sites. Here in Alberta, the government has decided that they want to help people get off drugs, not continue to give people drugs to eventually have them die of a drug overdose in the future. That's what safe injection sites eventually lead to. Now, I'm a compassionate person. I'm all for helping people who have a real problem. I've had a close family member of mine die of a drug overdose. But with these safe injection sites, people don't want them in their neighborhood. It causes problems. It causes dysfunction. It causes crime. It causes them to find needles in the street. They don't want them in their neighborhood. But when it comes to government, the government needs to be protected from safe injection sites, which takes us to Nanaimo, BC. You see, the people out in the communities who complain about these sites get nothing, but the council's got to be protected from the very policies that they put into place. Plan to fence off Nanaimo, BC City Hall to protect from overdose site disorder. Violence and disorder associated with an overdose prevention site next to City Hall. Let's read a little bit of this story, shall we? The city of Nanaimo, BC is considering building a 1.8-meter high fence to protect its staff from congregations of people, violence, and disorder associated with an overdose prevention site next to City Hall. Staff proposing the $412,000 fence cite intimidation and harassment of employees, particularly those working early or late, as well as damage to staff vehicles, fires near doorways and building perimeters, human waste, and a general deterioration of the site. Now let's read what the mayor has to say about this. Mayor Leonard Krog said in an interview Monday that the municipality had a legal obligation to protect its staff and property, and the final cost may be less or more than the recommended budget. We can't fence off everybody's private property, he said. We can't control every street, but we do have a duty to our employees, which is legal and present and very clear. This report represents the views of our staff, their feelings, and more importantly, and sadly, their fears and experience that they have had in the last few years as we've seen the situation in our streets become the challenge that it is. Mayor Krog, it is your duty to help the people that you represent. You have a duty to your constituents, to your voters, not just to the staff that feel intimidated by these people in the street. That's your job. I don't think government has many jobs. As Ronald Reagan said, the government that is best governs least, but one of the few things government should be doing is security, making people safe. And Mr. Krog, you've got it all wrong. Let's move on to number 3. So number 3 on the list this week is mind-numbingly dumb, and I want to give credit where it is due to Corey Morgan from The Corey Morgan Show and The Western Standard. Now, the video you're going to watch in just a moment, admittedly, is probably from the winter time, but Corey tweeted this out this week because this is a story that is very pertinent right now. Here is Corey's tweet. Every Canadian should watch this. A farmer is forced to dump thousands of liters of good milk down the drain because supply management makes it illegal for him to sell it. This is a sick system while families struggle with food prices.
Hey guys, we're here at Give and Go's Farm in Southern Ontario. We milk about 260 cows. Right now during the winter months, you milk quite a bit more milk because the feed is very consistent. And as you do a good job, you will produce quite a bit of milk. So, but right now we're over our quota. It's regulated by the government and by the DFO. But the problem is what they don't understand is millions of people look at this milk running away because it's the end of the month. So I dump 30,000 liters of milk. It breaks my heart. I will show you. By the way, this here, Canadian milk, it's $7 a liter. When I go for my haircut, people say, wow, $7, Jerry, for a little bit of milk. I say, well, you have to go higher up because we have no say anymore as a dairy farmer on our own farm because they make us dump it. And no matter how we stand up, so this time I'm going public. I want the people to see the pain that us growers have of 365 days. As a little boy, we grew up on a dairy farm, came from Europe, work, and here we are. This is what's happening.
Doesn't that just turn your stomach? You know, I watched that video and I'm incensed. I've held liters of cream here on my channel saying I pay more than $4 a liter for this in some places. And it's creeping up at Costco where it's $3.20 a liter now. Yeah, American friends, we pay more than $4 for a liter of goddamn cream in this country because of stuff like this. The policy, couched in the language of defending Quebec farmers, artificially inflates food prices and hinders consumer choice and limits market access for Canadian producers. From an article in the Western Standard, they cover this quite extensively. Supply management. Go over and subscribe. I do. Meanwhile, this is a major bone of contention when it comes to Donald Trump. He talks about this all the time. So what does the Canadian government do just before we're supposed to go into trade negotiations? This big issue, the crisis of our lifetime. Parliament on June 17th passed Bill C-202, a Bloc Québécois bill that bars the government from making any international trade deals that alters Canada's quotas for dairy, eggs, or poultry. Meanwhile, it passed. Everybody voted in favor of this because they pander to the vote in Quebec. Screw Alberta, screw the rest of Canada, drives up prices. Poilievre confirms he will never cancel controversial dairy supply management. So even if you get a conservative government, this will not change. That's number one on our list this week. Thanks so much for watching this. I do appreciate it. I'll have volume 2 for you next Friday. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great weekend.